thing going, man. I really thank everybody for tuning in. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure for you guys to be in the mix. It's one of those things. It's one of those things whereas we have to figure out, do we go ahead and pay the man? And the thing is, if you want to do that, then that's cool. If you don't, then that's cool too as well. We got to figure out a way, once we pay somebody the money, those big dollars, will they still be able to perform? And that's the main thing. Can you still perform once you get paid the big dollars from the Dallas Cowboys? That's been our issue. That's been our Achilles heel for a long time. It's been one of those things where we pay a guy and then the next year he just do not perform. Regardless, we can go all the way back outside of the offensive line. We go all the way back to the early 2000s, you know, or we make trades and we make deals, and do they go about being the deal that we really want for them to perform, like the Miles Austins of the world, right? Even the Dez Bryant, the Tony Romo. When we paid Tony Romo, he broke his pinky, he broke his back, he broke this and he broke that, you know. So I don't know if you want to be money shy, or then we already knew what we did with Brandon Carr. So there's a fickle process when it goes to paying a person that performed, and we have to figure out, can we overcome that particular Achilles heel? I think that he's looking north of $70 million. That's a lot of cheddar for somebody that can play and hopefully, you know, can show up and show out. But we just never know out for 1 year production. Now, if you can do the schematics or the matrix of the salary cap, or pretty much if you can do the performance of his salary or performance of his pretty much skill set the year previous to last year, maybe you can say if this didn't happen, if that didn't happen, maybe something like that. But let me give a shout out to the first person who jumped into the chat box. Shout out to Chris, man. He won. Chris, you first place, and then Trustin, and then Chris again. These Chris's, man, they running the show right now. They running the Cowboys nation, man. Salute to Virginia Finest and everybody else that's in there. Fred Allen and Chaz and those who out there have been following the channel for a long time. I really appreciate it, man. I thank you so much. James Bank, man, shout out to you. Mr. Mad Eye 2020. He got 2020 visions, but with your 2020 vision, where do you see the Cowboys going? You know, we have to figure out a way whereas we can still pay our guys and they perform. We do know that as far as what he did last year was everything we needed. All I can say is, if David Irvin can get out there and get his mind straight and get his everything, get his act together, maybe we can just have that fearsome foursome, you know, David Irvin, Malik Collins, throw in a Jihad Ward, and then you throw in the Tacos of the world, and you have I know I'm going over 4 because we got so many defensive finesse guys. Then you throw in a D-Law. This would be right. 4 years, 23.5 sacks. This is from Charles. I mean, the stats, you know, stats stays the stats, you know. We need a Randy Gregory. I remember recalling Botch Lombardi saying that he would kick certain players off the bridge to have Randy Gregory, you know, and that's the thing, you know, who can we put into the mix that can just play on Sundays? Hey, we tired of being mediocre, and the best thing that you can do is follow the teams that win. Now, you guys know that it was going to come. You guys knew I was going to talk about this, right? The Patriots, you know, or some people call them the Cheechirits or whatever, you know, Bill Belichick. What would Bill Belichick do, you know? In this fashion, you got a guy that performed, did a damn good job, and I do believe that you should, if you perform at your job, you should get paid, right? You shouldn't just be talking for free, or you should not be working for free. I believe that the guy should get paid. I think the guy needs his pesos too as well. But what would Bill Belichick do at this point? He'll try to navigate and finagle his way on trading D-Law at this point. I mean, I don't think that you sink $75 million on a guy that only performed 1 year, but you can try to sink that type of resources to get 2 first-round picks, maybe a two-thirds in the first, something like that. We need a break, and that's what Jimmy Johnson used to do, not just going all the way back to the 90s. I remember a player said, hey, I had asthma, and Jimmy Johnson said, what the hell that got to do? The asthma field is over there. That was in all the newspapers over there. Those who can remember that this guy didn't care about your feelings. Now, of course, you do have some of your mega stars and superstars on the team, but they was the dang gone right producing, and those are the guys that he pretty much gave a little leeway on. Now, entering into this new era, this new funk of players, we can say, well, the salary cap, he didn't play well. Well, he didn't coach well off into the salary cap. And what the world did he do when he went to coach for, I guess, the Miami Dolphins? Neither here nor there. Resources are resources. But, we have to figure out something. And in order for us to win, we may have to throw in new wrinkles. We may have to do some things that's different. We may have to start off new trends, new flavor. I did the film session the other day on Xavier Woods, the X-Weapon, Weapon X or X-Man. Put down your thoughts of what his nickname should be or is going to be, Professor X, But they put out a 3-2-6 defense, and one can say that's just a hybrid version of a dime, but it was something that was creative to get pressure to the quarterback. Squeeze the quarterback drop back, rush his throw. That's what we need to do. We have to figure out ways to create pressure for this hungry defense. Defense win just not games, but they win championships, and we need another ring. I'm tired of seeing these banners behind me. We want rings. We want to be able to walk around, with those rings all on our hand. We gotta move on to the next hand. Yes, we got all the rings on one hand, but we need one more hand to get filled up too as well. And then when we start filling up, when we get 10 rings, I want more. I'm greedy. I know you guys are greedy too. I'm greedy. I want these rings. I don't want to be mediocre. No. We don't want to do that. Nobody wants to be that, right? We want to be winning games and dominating games, not just winning by the hair of my chinny chin. We want to win. That's the name of the game. Shout out to Chris Dantzler, man. Thank you for the salute, bro. Shout out to Joshua McKeever, CT Cowboys, DC for life. Shout out to you guys, man. Mr. Williams in the mix too as well. Who else we got? Michael Warren in this mix too as well. James Banks banking all over the Cowboys Nation. He put hashtag Cowboys Nation. Don't forget to like this page, subscribe to this channel, share the content. Join me on my podcast too as well. The links are down below in the description box. I thank all you guys for tuning in. But moving over to the next topic, we can talk about that. I'm going to let you guys steer the committee right now. I know it's early. Shout out to every Saturday person that's up real early in the morning. Listen to me talk my mind, speak my thoughts. Lance Satchel, what's going on? Law, do you believe in your heart that we are going to land Earl Thomas? All right. Shout out to Okoye too as well. I think that you guys go to his page. He did the comparison of Jeff Heath and Earl Thomas. Now, he was talking about the declines of stats and stuff like that. That's cool. I mean, we can pull up stats, we can dissect them and look them up and down and say, okay, this is where this trajectory is going to be, of a player, and this is where the decline of products. And then I saw somebody in the comment section said, okay, if we're going to go by stats alone, then according to those stats, not Adrian Peterson, but the other Peterson, I think it's Patrick Peterson that played for the Cardinals. It's just a washed up, beat down cornerback. And then he said, okay, I agree. I love when I listen to people talk about stats, right? And then he threw in the objective of Dez Bryant, right? Dez Bryant stats. If you're going to say that you don't like Earl Thomas stats, or you say if you like Earl Thomas and then you frown upon Dez Bryant declines in stats, then what are you arguing about, basically? He was saying basically, if you have fault against Dez Bryant's stats, you should have the same matter of fault against, Earl Thomas. But neither here nor there. I like Jeff Heath. I'm going to beat on my chest, and I was going to say this too as well. Before anybody was just looking at Jeff Heath, I was the guy that put my name out there saying, Jeff Heath going to be somebody. He's going to make these plays. Give the guy, he had the tenacity, he had the strength, he had the speed burst around the edges and all this stuff. And then I did a video. I did the original Jeff Heath film session, but I had to take it down because of copyright, because that was during the time that I had the full broadcasting view and I was doing the film session. And I did the opening game, what made Jeff Heath the Jeff Heath that everybody disliked. And it was the Megatron game that Megatron caught 313 or beyond yards on the Dallas Cowboys defense. And it was just a horrible showing. And then I showed everybody the clips of pretty much it was Brandon used car fault, but Jeff Heath just looked like he was the guy that's getting burned, because Brandon used car, to me personally, is a more physical corner. They had him playing so far out that he was just getting used and abused, and that car just couldn't roll, right? And Jeff Heath, we saw Jeff Heath hawk down Megatron. And I might have to just go back to the film archives and put it back out there to the universe, because nobody have this clip out there. Unfortunately, it's a copyright type of clip, but I might just put it back out there on Facebook or something so everybody can see Jeff Heath hawk down Megatron and knock him out of bounds. I said, man, that brother right there, he have a PhD. He's poor, hungry, and determined. That's what I talk about with Jeff Heath. Now, put that all to the side, like the next 3 games later. That was the game that Jeff Heath, this 2013, this Jeff Heath rookie year. That was the game that Jeff Heath got ran over by Adrian Peterson. You guys don't remember that, but I think some of you guys that's in the film section, that do the film sessions too as well, you guys might remember that. Jeff Heath, mano a mano, Adrian Peterson. He just picked him up and carried him for 5 yards, him and some other guys, into the touchdown. And everybody remembered Jeff Heath. That's all they could remember. 2013 and then 2014, they said, you know what, we're going to put you to the side. And he just faded it away from there. And now we move to this present day. For us to say that Jeff Heath is anything comparable of Earl Thomas, it's kind of like saying that I'm a Michael Jackson is my father, or something like that. You know, it's crazy. It's beyond my mind. I can look at stats, but it's something different about knowing where to be at on the ball, knowing the in and out of this particular defense that Chris Richard is going to put out there. Earl Thomas is pale in comparison of what you can say of what a Jeff Heath is. Now, I love Jeff Heath. I believe deep down in my heart that Jeff Heath as a rotational piece is a wonderful, fantastic part that we can put on this defense. But you just do not sell everything on Jeff Heath. What will Bill Belichick do? What will people do that won championships? They just don't do this type of stuff. And now I'm just going to say this right here too as well. This is not a basher of Jeff Heath. And this shout out to Okoye too as well. What I'm saying is that we have to think beyond our minds when it comes to this football play and follow the team that won Super Bowls. Every team that you can name from the last 5 years, they did one major thing during the offseason. They went and got free agents, guys. They went and got it. Prove me if I'm wrong. I'm willing to stand on this chair backwards and turn around and jump off. Go back in the last 5 years. If we can go back last year, Ron Darby. Either you make a trade or you make free agency moves. Ron Darby, you know, the Philadelphia Eagle, they went and got Ron Darby. The year before that, who won the Super Bowl? The Patriots. They went and got some people, man. And in my mind, just can't recall of all of the names of the people they went and got. But you got to figure out a way to make your move. You just can't sit back and say, I trust my guys to win it all, when they have not done it. It just gets on my nerves, because we just not have seen the production that we want from our team. We will see the same thing over and over again, saying that I want my kind of guys to win this thing. You got to have somebody who been there, did it, and done it before. All right, so moving forward, shout out to those that's in the chat box. It is what it is, man. Used car. That's what I call him, man, because out in space, Brandon Carr, he's just not a great corner. Nicola, shout out to you too as well. Heath is a throwback Bill Bates. I like him. His corners have been deficient. You know, his corner play. This is the thing, you know, we are glorified and we are hyped and pumped up about interceptions, which is cool. But we fail to realize when somebody misses an assignment and it's 70 yards or 80 yards or just 30 yards or 20 yards, or if somebody whiff on a tackle and they on their knees being baptized, those are things that we fail to realize. And playing defensive back, you want to be able to be that enforcer. Now, the argument would be the fact that, okay, Law, what if Jeff Heath started every particular game? Will his stats be better? You know, there's a thing in the financial world or in the economics world. I have an economic degree, and I'm not just trying to throw out, hey, I'm an economics guy, you know, but there's a thing called deficiency, and then there's also a thing called Pareto deficiency and law of diminishing rates of return, meaning that the law of diminishing rates of return, the more often that you use said product or the more often that you have a particular device out there, that particular device with diminishing, it would return less. It will return or have a digression in that particular product, meaning that if I can run 10 miles, it's cool a day, but eventually my 10 miles a day, my time frame, yes, it will plateau at one point, but after that plateau point, I will start declining. So meaning that I cannot do this particular production every day. Now I can do it and ball out and lights out one day or one day out of a month, but if I do it 10 days out of a month, the production will not be the same. And what I'm seeing is what we see from our eyes. We see Jeff Heath, he catch these interceptions, and we're saying to ourselves, man, this guy can be this every day. That's not the case, nor the scenario. But what we want to see Jeff Heath in is in a situation where he comes in and be the savior, but not always be the guy that's going to be out there every single down. Trust me, if he had the ability, if he had the wherewithal and he had the skill set, he would already been out there every down. There are things that we just don't see out there with the naked eye, especially from the broadcasting view. There are just things that we don't see. Now one can argue and say, well, this coaching staff has always been wrong on players. Name me one guy in the last 10 years that the coaching staff let go on defense and he just went and balled somewhere else. I'm waiting. I just really want to wait, and I want to let you guys should just let me know. Just comment now or comment down below once the video is over with. Just name me one guy that left the Cowboys on the defensive side of the ball who just left, and then all of a sudden we said, man, this guy is just lights out. He going to Pro Bowls after Pro Bowl after Pro Bowls. And maybe you can throw in a Sendejo who played for the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, he played for the Cowboys roster. But I'm going to move it back to maybe the last 5 years. Within the Rob Marinelli system, name me the guy that just left and just balled out, made multiple Pro Bowls. You just can't find that type of production. These guys know. Rob Marinelli is no fool. He may not coach the way we want him to coach, but he's still no talent. Hey, yeah, DeMarcus Ware, I'm talking about now. Come on now. They didn't misuse DeMarcus Ware. I'm talking about within the Rob Marinelli system. Name me a guy. Newman. Now, those guys, Newman, Ware, those are not Rob Marinelli's guys. Come on, keep going. Let me know. I'm also figuring out who guys, where y'all been. Family First, man. I like that name, man. That's a beautiful name. Agent Evo 480, Mad Eye 2020. Newman, Ware, those guys, where they didn't leave because of actual, they couldn't play. They left because of money, and then on top of that too as well with Ware's situation, they thought for sure that his back was just gone like a pretzel. The thing is with DeMarcus Ware, although he was not a Rob Marinelli's guy, but the reason why he balled and went to another place because, come on now, he had Von Miller on the other side, and then you can argue the same thing with Newman. You can say that with Newman, but Newman left before Rob Marinelli, I believe. I could be wrong on that. Not Toast Newman, but he was getting burnt. Newman have the Newman have a different type of approach to the game. You know, he's still playing, and he's about, me and Newman about the same age. Newman's is kind of, you know, old guy. Barry Church didn't ball, man. Barry Church still looked decent. Barry Church looked like Barry Church of 2000 and what's the years? 2014 and 16. Barry Church, when he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, he disappeared a little bit. He didn't play every snap. They actually rotated Barry Church in. Although Barry Church was out there saying, hey, I'm actually playing more now. But come on, how many interceptions? What was his overall number? Did he get to the Pro Bowl? You know, those are things that you look for. Jeff take bad angles to tackle. Donald Lewis. And then again, guys, these are just my opinions, and these are just my reviews or my thoughts of what I've seen out there. Now, if I'm not saying that when you take Jeff Heath and you put him out there and he get 10 interceptions, everybody come to me and say, hey, Law, you're wrong. Then I would be one happy mother sucker. You know what I mean? But one thing that I can say, this is defense is different from what we're going to see down the line anyway. It's Chris Richard's defense. So hopefully they're going to play these guys up front, up press. And we know for sure that he's going to give them different type of breathing room for the quarterback to pass the ball. That's one thing. And when you have the mindset to have the quarterback to think before they throw, then that's going to be a different type of defense too as well. But I'm just going back, look at the whole entire picture. Whatever happened to a Russell Wilson? Ryan Russell, I meant to say. I think Russell Wilson, you know, we never had him. But Ryan Russell, yeah, he went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers and he disappeared. I can't think of an all-pro. We didn't have none of that on our side of the ball on defense, you know. Jeff Heath will not start. This is from Williams, yeah. And CT Cowboys, I'm trying over here, Law. I mean, it's just one of those things, man, whereas we try to figure out this defense, we want what's best for our team. We want what's best for our organization. But sometimes we have to just look in the mirror and say, okay, maybe, just maybe the way that we doing, trying to develop our guys. Yes, these guys are basically, I don't want to say mediocre guys, but these guys are basically in the middle guys. But one thing we can raise our hand to is that now we have possibilities of hope with the Jordan Lewises, with the Chidobe Awuzie, maybe Anthony Brown, maybe that was just his sophomore slump. Maybe he'll step this up. And then we talk about X Woods, those younger guys that just been recently drafted. Maybe there's an opportunity, a chance for these guys to elevate their game. And I could still throw in a Kevon Frazier. Hopefully this secondary, the guys that also that Chris Richard is bringing in, hopefully we can figure out with these guys, the dogs. Remember we were talking about last year around this time. We said we're looking for some dogs. We're looking for somebody who can get nasty, get into the face of the opposition, and create turnovers, right? Now, we got some dogs now. I think that they graduated from being puppies to dogs during the middle of the season last year. To be 8th overall is cool from a statistical aspect or from a numbers game. But being ranked 27th, I think 27 or 28, something like that, the bottom half of the NFL, getting off the field on third down is not going to be a winning formula. You have to figure out a way to get off the field on third downs. Third down defense is everything. And how you do that? Either you, A, get a better coaching staff in here who can say, okay, I'm not going to give you the underneath pass. You're going to have to earn the underneath. 2, get dogs up and get some more dogs up in here that's not afraid to bite. They got teeth, right? You see these teeth? That's what you want. You want somebody to have that type of temperament out there. Let me see what I got on my phone. Yeah, so that shout out to Karsten Muller. I don't know if you're in the chat box or what, you know, but you just sent me a donation to help grow the nation via PayPal, man. I appreciate that. Every penny counts. I really thank you guys for doing that. You know, this studio, as far as sound and lighting and all this stuff that you see, it's not easy. Be it me, but it's one of those things where we making it. Because Jameis is a turnover machine. Yeah, you know, it may be they are all Jags, just a guy. That's what Tristan say. Howell, you know, and we got to move on beyond that. So going back to the major topic, everybody wants to get paid. That's the name of the game. I really think that we should take a good look at D-Law. If he asking for 75 million, can you live with D-Law production? What if D-Law leave and he be the Reggie White for another team? That could be a what if, but what if D-Law never gets over 15 sacks again? That's the major conundrum that we will have to face. We have to figure out something. I don't know, you know. Let me know with the comments down below. Give me a thumb up emoji if you want to pay D-Law the 75 million, or just give me a thumb down emoji if you just don't want D-Law to get paid that money. Or should we just wait and see? Will be like the little sign, like, I don't know, that mess sign, like, I don't know, you know. Give me a thumbs up, let me know. Not 75 million, but that's where his range at, Palmer. It's around 75 million, you know. Pay the man. This is from Robert Small. He said pay the man. So we got two people saying hell no. We got a few people that saying pay the man. Don't be a Shante Carver. No, show me the money, pay him, you know. And so family first saying pay the man, you know. And that's what we play for football for. We play football to get paid, you know. His back isn't that good though. The alternatives. What are the alternatives? Maybe we drafted Taco Charlton for a reason. We still have Randy Gregory and we have Dorrance Armstrong. Those are all defensive ends, you know. And I know Tyrone Crawford, if we managed to pay him $40 million, I think D-Law saying, okay, I know I'm north of 40 million. So somehow, some way. So I got a few thumbs downs on the pay the man. We finally have the War Daddy. Pay him. This is from Joseph. War Daddy indeed, you know. Nicola saying no, you know. I got her down as one of the enforcers. So it says no, big thumbs down. None of them proven. Yeah, this is from Robert. Josh Hooligan, I think that's how you say your name. Not yet. One more to prove it, you know. So this is the thing. Either you pay him now, you'd be 5 years, $7 million, right? Then if he come trash somehow and you manage to skip his payments and say, okay, well, you know, good luck with the next team. Either now you can get something for your resources and maybe get a draft pick. But if you pay the man, that's all you get, right? Or you pay him and he turns out to be like Crawford, you know. That could be the possibility. There could be a chance in a scenario. So maybe we should pump the brakes and just say, okay, make it a prove-it year. Put your money on the line. Put your body on the line. You're getting 17 million. If you work that 17 million right, you don't have to work another day in your life. And I do know that, you know, 17 million to NFL players, it's laughable for basketball players, but for NFL players, maybe 17 million is not a lot, you know. I'm talking about his franchise tag. But give me 17 million, I don't have to work another day. Give me 7 million. Give me, I can flex it with 1 million. Somebody in the comment section, give me 700,000. I probably don't have to work another day in my life. But these players on a different stratosphere. You give them 17, give him 17 million. You play this 1 year out, and then we'll see. You know, if it's midway around the middle of the season, you say, okay, look. We'll go ahead and slide that 5 years in. If he was in the middle of the season and already got 10 sacks, maybe they can do that aspect of it. Look at that aspect of it. But if you don't pay the man and he balls out, let's say he ball out like, let me throw in a number, 19 sacks, you know, 5 forced fumbles or something like that, like a crazy year. That price tag just went up. It went up from 5 million to 75 million to he want Aaron Donald's money. You know, he want 100 million strong. Then that's when you have to really look back at everything. So it's a weird money's game. How else they give me 500,000, $500,000, and I won't say a word. You'd be straight for life, right? It's amazing how we can flex this money out, you know. put it into one of those safe, secured accounts where you can just sit back and draw the interest, stuff like that. Don't buy a house too big. Don't buy a car too flashy. You know, maybe you splurge a little bit, but just not a lot. You know, maybe you splurge a little bit on clothes or something like that. Put it in a secure banking account. Maybe you do something like that. Tag, that's what James Sorrell say. Yeah, tag the man. Carr was balling in Baltimore. I give you that. I give you that. They play Carr up tight, up front on the line. He got a few interceptions when you look back at his film. But I don't think he made that Pro Bowl. But Carr did ball. I ain't going to lie to you, man. So maybe you guys can come at me with that, you know. But shout out to Carr. The used Carr got a few more miles in him, right? He better not ball this year because I'll be mad then, right? But no, I don't wish him no ill will against Brandon Carr. But shout out to Brandon Carr. I think he got 4 interceptions, maybe 3, something like that last year. Your law, defensive tackle is an issue still. This is from Josh. Yeah, it is a major issue. When we talking about defensive tackle, you know, it creates so many things. Look back at the film that I showed yesterday on the Xavier Woods. When I showed everybody the 3-2-6 defense, they lined number 95 David Irvin. I'm trying not to say Belly Irvin because maybe he's just working out right now. They line him up at 0. That's like at the nose tackle. They fanned Tyrone Crawford to the edge. They put D-Law on the other side, and they kind of squeezed in Sean Lee and number 57, and the linebacker number 57. They squeezed him in. I think his name is Wilson. I just remember players' numbers. They squeezed him in, and they did a twist stunt, and he was able to break free. And I'm talking about number 50, Sean Lee. He was able to break free, create pressure, and the quarterback had to rush the throw. But if you look back at that film, you look at the middle, the interior, as much as strength that we think that David Irvin have, he didn't move that line not one bit. He plays too erect. He's so tall and rangy. He don't get the bend that you want. That's why they put him on the edge sometimes. And then, of course, can he play the 3? Yes. But when you talk about nose tackle, you need that big plug. Regardless of how we look at it, we need a guy that's going to eat 30 ham sandwiches, drink 40 gallons of milk, and just going to just lean and put that pressure into the interior of the pocket. If I'm a quarterback, if I'm a seasoned vet quarterback, I don't care about the edges. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, if I'm Tom Brady, if I'm any seasoned quarterback, I'm going to say with the Cowboys, I'm playing against the Cowboys, I'm not even worried about the middle of the interior of the defense. Every time they coming off the edge, streaming off the edge, I'm just going to sit back, look, and I'm going to slide. Step forward, make my throw. Sit back, look where the pressure at, slide, step forward, and make my throws. And then even if they started to win off the sides, then I'm going to bring in the 12 personnel. I'm going to have 2 tight ends, and I'm going to make sure I have my added protection. And then I'm on top of that, I can still do 11 personnel. I'm going to have my running back to shade and chip off the side where you're going to try to come in at. That's what I'm going to do as a veteran quarterback. And then on top of that, too, as well, if anybody look back at all our games, when we playing against Rob Marinelli's defense, the weakness on any cover 2, even if you playing Madden, and I haven't played Madden in a long time, how you beat the cover 2? Middle seam, vertical routes. Anything that has to do with flats and passing off into the edge and interior with slant routes, that will kill your cover 2 defense because you have so much space in between. The outer edges, you might have fits in putting that ball there. But if you're not getting pressure up front with the front 4, then all you have to do is just pick them off, especially like cherries if they playing off coverage. And they playing that loose bail technique, you can still lead the throw and get it down and get it done. That's what Aaron Rodgers did. That's how he came back to beat us the last several times. And that's why Rob Marinelli has been always in the doghouse when he played against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers flew around, settle his little jills, he settled his nerves, and then he sit there and he picked Rob Marinelli's defense apart. Go back. You don't have to take my word for it. Trust me, but verify it for yourself. Go back and look at the Chicago days, whenever Rob Marinelli was with that team, and look at the Detroit Lions days. He still had to play Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers carved that cover 2 defense up, because this is the basic of the basic defense of what everybody learns to play when they're in high school almost. And Aaron Rodgers have that same knowledge to just go back and carve us apart. Regardless, cut him. Tyrone Crawford would have you done for me lately. God, pretty much just from Hot Rod, my contacts are dropped, so that's why I can barely read the information. He said, cut Tyrone Crawford. What have you done for me lately? Yes. I'm on the fence. This is from Dura Williams. Yeah. On the fence of whether or not we pay the man or not. Drafted Crawford for a 3-4 and does never have been a fit to use him as a 4-3, basically. I don't know, man. At this point, he's a tweener guy. He don't have the bend to play on the outside. He's not big enough to play inside. The coaching staff by now, sure, when they saw Tyrone Crawford, they should say, hey, we're going to put 25 on your frame, 25 pounds, and we're just going to keep you inside interior. We're not even going to try you on the edges. But injuries played a lot in the whole other stuff. They said, I like Coney. Yeah, this is from Palmer. Yeah, we do like Coney Ely too as well. We're just going to have to see what he can do. And it's just one of those things. It may be a wait and see too as well with him. All right, so we've been going for 36 minutes. We'll try to go 45 minutes strong. What else you guys have in the chat box? Law, what it do? This is from Modelly, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to the Delta, Gentry High. Shout out to the Delta area. You guys know that's from the muddy deeps of the South, Mississippi. Can the Cowboys get Dontario Poe? I don't know. Rob Marinelli don't like those big guys like that, and Dontario Poe is a very athletic guy. I think I still have some all 22 clips somewhere. You just type in Dontario Poe all 22 on YouTube or Facebook, and you will see the clip that I have of him. And when he was a free agent, I said, okay, let's go out there and get this type of guy that we can insert in the middle and just forget. But our solution would be Brian Price. Maybe he can be the guy that can just step up, show up, and just come out of nowhere and just Hulk smash this whole thing, Can the Cowboys, let me see, I read that one. Chris Shaw, only one Charles Edwards. Let me see. Rodgers have a 3 or 4 Super Bowl appearance. I can't remember. Aaron Rodgers only have 1. Yeah, that's what they was asking. Okay. Ron Smith in the mix. What's going on? He said, what's up, Law from the Salt Lake City, Utah. Shout out to Utah, man. Shout out to Salt Lake. Don't forget, guys, I love to hear where you guys are from. That's always a plus, man, hearing us, the Cowboys Nation. We the only channel that can come on YouTube and say, man, where you from? And people pull up Salt Lake. People pull up even Philadelphia. People pull up, they from Virginia. They from New York. They from Texas. They from Mississippi and Atlanta. All these places, cities and states, man. And they from London, across the pond. And shout out to Canada. Canada, oh Canada. Shout out to you guys too as well, man, because they watch the show. People from Mexico. We the only show that's on YouTube. And if we can talk about Cowboys, we can say, where you from? And people say all these different areas, Hawaii and all this stuff. Memphis, Tennessee. I call it Tennessee, not Tennessee, Tennessee. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that from who's that? I can't even say that name, man. Joseph, man. Shout out to you, New Mexico. MD, Maryland. DMV, man. That's what I'm talking about. People just say Jonathan Hankins is still a steal. Jonathan Hankins, I think he got picked up by the Raiders, I believe. Bull City, Durham, North Carolina. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Huggy, what's going on? Odessa, Texas. That's from Evo 480. That's what I'm talking about. Dallas, born and bred. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Just always been in the mix, man. Always been in down here in the big heat. I ain't gonna say the big D, the big heat, because it's hot out here. 104 degrees going to be today. What I don't like from fat boys like Hankins in the middle. Well, we don't like fat boys like Hankins in the middle. This is from Donald Lewis. They just tend to not like the big guys for some reason. I wish I could change out the contacts. I really can't see. But Shogun, Texas, man. North Texas. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. San Antonio. You guys going to keep Kawhi Leonard? San Antonio. That's from Andrew Castillo. Yeah. Germany, man. We got people all over the world tuning in, listening into the show. That is fantastic. That is amazing, man. It's always, and then let me know too as well, where you guys watching it from? Like, are you watching it from your mobile or your desktop? Now I'm trying to get into your business, right? Are you at your home or you're on the road? Because we do have a podcast now. So if you're driving, you know, and you want to still tune in to the show, you can do that. But it won't be live. You just had to catch it on a rebound. You can do that now. I got podcasts going on. Rob rather have some undersized. Rod would rather have some undersized guys in the middle. This from Donald Lewis. I think somebody mentioned yesterday about the Lewis Neals of the world, right? I think that they trying to put them in as a fullback. We'll see, but he does have that short area quickness. He have the burst off the line. His get off the line is a whole lot faster than what a Jihad Ward is doing. But hopefully, Jihad Ward in the new system with Rob Marinelli, we can see some explosion. Because that's the only thing that I have my reservations on him. Maybe that will be my next film session, a full breakdown of Jihad Ward's skill set, his release off the line, the way he uses his hands. Go to his Instagram page. Shout out to my guy, Italian Cowboy. He really he sent me a link from Blogging the Boys of Jihad Ward using those hands, getting upfield, and, well, not getting upfield, using those hands against the practice dummies, you know. It's showing a good deed of technique. Hit the like button, guys. This is from Joseph. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. The best thing you guys can do is hit the like button and share the content. Tell a friend, tell a troll, tell somebody that, hey, this guy Law Nation, he talks Cowboys. I try to go live every day. And if I don't, it's going to be some type of information that I pump out there. And the best thing to do is get the notification. Always jump in and hit the notification button after you smash the like button. And then that's where you can just catch me live. And you guys can see me make my mistakes and all that good stuff. But, Law, what's your thoughts on the first game? Ooh, I love that question. Jason Garrett's systems, if you go back to revisionist history, Jason Garrett is one of those guys. When he loses the first game, we have a better season, right? But still, defense travel. And we do know that we were projected to have a good defense. Hopefully we have a good defense. The other thing is, too, as well, the running game. The running game always in the first game is just not up to par because the new CBA agreement, the collective bargain agreement, you're not hitting, you're not running as much. So, for one, your defense is not used to hitting. So, you look for around week 3 before that defense shows up and show out, right? And then on top of that, you're running back. He's trying to get his wins together because you're really doing a preseason. You're just not going to run the ball as much. So normally with the first game, you really don't see the production. So you see a little bit more of a sluggish style of play. Hopefully we can just claw it out and scratch it out and win that first game. But revisionist history or history alone will show that with the Jason Garrett era, it's best for us to lose that first game and have some type of demeanor, mean chip to go into the New York Giants and just beat the hell out of them, and then we go on our tariff. You know, that's the best thing for. So with that first game, we do know that they're going to be implementing the Carolina Panthers. They're going to be implementing a new type of system. They have Nove Turner as their offensive coordinator. One thing I do know about Nove Turner, he does know Jason Garrett. So those are two type of things that we're going to have to really take a look at. Nove Turner knows Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett knows Nove Turner. So it's going to be the battle of the pretty much 90s mindset of quarterbacks, or pretty much battle of the 90s mindsets of players, you know, to coaching staff, whatever, you know, however I can put this together. Now, this is the thing. Cam Newton, along with himself, is a college-style quarterback. He plays off momentum. If Cam Newton can play with the league and play uptight and all this stuff, and he starts showing up and start giving us that Superman look, we are in trouble. But if we could jump out and we play with the lead, then Cam Newton will start doing Cam Newton things, meaning that if we can create pressure, get turnovers, win a turnover battle, maybe get a kickoff return, something like that, and jump out real quick on a Carolina Panther, they will not catch up. They will not win. If you make Cam Newton one-dimensional, we win in this game no matter how you look at it. But if we find a way, if we can just find a way to get in our way, and we have to play Mr. Catch-up, then we will have every news media talking about the Cowboys are doom and gloom. We told you guys that they are horrible and all this stuff, which could be a blessing in disguise. Jalen Smith is the next Ray Lewis. This is from my guy D. Will. Dayton Jones, not that bad of a player. This is from Lance Satchel. No, he's not, but he's a good rotational piece. Hopefully he can show up and show us something. Luke Kuechly, just what Williams said. I mean, he's the other Sean Lees of the world, right? Please, Law, do a segment on the cons and pros, but focus on the downside of the position flex. Players like Byram and Crawford suffered from being moved all around too much and can't prove trustworthy. This is from good stuff. This is from Jeremy X. That's a good idea. That's a dog good idea. Maybe I can come out with that right before the season kickoff. The cons and pros of being so good that they have to move you in so many places, putting you here, not allowing you to grow. And that's one thing that we're waiting on with Xavier Woods. Are they going to play him in the slot, or are they going to just keep him as a free safety? Pick a spot for him and leave him alone, right? So we'll see. What's up, Law? Late to the party. Hey, DJ. That's my DJ. That's my DJ. What's up, man? Hey, better to be seen and not viewed, man. I appreciate you for joining in. All right, let's see what we have now on the ticker. It's 46 minutes long. We've been going into this thing. I always like to leave with a positive message on Saturdays. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if all your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap for it, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out and sweat for it, fret for it, and plan for it, and even dream for it, then dogged and grim and besieged and beset it with the help of Almighty, you will get it. That's what you have to do. And I'm talking about the Super Bowl. These guys got to have that type of temperament, mindset. I can go on and on and on and on and on about how I can try to motivate you guys with just my words. But action means everything. I measure a man not by his words, but by his actions. We got to get out there and make it happen one way or another. This is your brother from another mother, no other. I don't look like Danny Glover, but let's keep it cool for you guys. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in to the show. And remember, these things that we have to put into place, it will happen as long as we can just stay focused. There's not that much difference between a laser and a light bulb. They're both beams of light. It's just that one is more focused. I always remind myself of even the prey. The hunter versus the prey. You have to know your landscapes, your surroundings, in order for you to survive. And this is what this game of football is all about. Being able to survive in the trenches. And we can do that, guys. Hopefully, we can just match all this stuff together that we talked about all this offseason and get our minds together. That's been my time. I really thank you for yours. And remember, you guys are listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Let's jam out to this music, man. Let's jam out to it, man. Shout out Cam versus that, yeah. 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 Salute, Ron.